living longer, living healthier, living better than ever before. Welcome to Mountain Pacific's Healthy Living for Life, a weekly series that gives you the information, education, and expert insight you need to become an active participant in today's ever-changing healthcare climate. Here now is today's program host.
As we age, our bodies change, and with those changes and other health conditions, falls can be increased. Falls are the #1 cause of injury-related deaths among persons 65 and older, though fear of falling need not control our lives. Welcome to Healthy Living for Life, a show dedicated to helping you do just that. I'm Sarah Medley, your host. Today we'll talk about fall prevention and house safety. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Healthy Living for Life. We're joined first by Nancy Anderson, the Outreach Director and Volunteer Program Manager for AARP Montana. Thank you so much, Nancy, for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So first up, let's talk about common injuries that can happen in our homes. Is it true that most falls occur in the bathroom?
Yes, it is. And bathrooms can be a little bit tricky. They can generally be tight spaces. The floor can be slippery with water. And there are so many hard surfaces that you can hit on your way down. So serious injuries can occur if you fall in the bathroom.
Well, we know that falls can happen to anyone at any time. I know I've certainly fallen before. But are certain people more at risk for falls than others?
Well, yes. Many of us actually develop such a fear of falling as we get older that we really hesitate to move very much. And it's so important to keep that mind-body connection going. That's what helps us to keep our stability as we go. So it's really important to stay active, and there's a few simple steps you can take. First of all, walking. Incorporating walking into your daily routine is important, and use steps where you can. AARP Montana actually offers a program called the Neighbor Walk program. It's a 6-week program. It's free, and we offer it several times during the year. It's a great combination of a social interaction and individual walking. It's a 6-week program that has weekly video chats with a group led by volunteers where we talk about the mechanics of walking and how to safely incorporate walking into your routine. And then the members of the group walk individually on their own during the rest of the week. So it really is a great way to combine some social interaction with building a healthy behavior into your lifestyle. And so walking is important, but it's also important to build balance. There are some very simple exercises you can do each day. Hold on to a dresser, stand on one leg for a couple of minutes, and then switch legs. Do some toe taps. AARP's website, aarp.org, does have exercise routines available that can help to build your balance. You need to build your strength and your resistance, lift some weights, or even water bottles full of water to help build some strength. Do some knee bends. And of course, get shoes that aren't slippery, that won't catch on the carpet as you walk, and wear them around your home, not just outside. Wear them inside. A couple of other things that don't easily come to mind are have your hearing and your vision checked. If your eyesight is cloudy, it can impair your balance. And also if your hearing is compromised, your equilibrium's definitely affected. And finally, check with your doctor and your pharmacist. Some of your medications might have side effects that can cause dizziness or make you more inclined to fall. Maybe you need to stand up slowly and get your bearings before you charge off across the room. So those are some easy steps.
Well, it sounds like a simple question when I think about it, but why is fall prevention so important?
Well, as you said, it's the leading cause of injuries for older Americans. And every 11 seconds, an older adult is headed to the emergency room or urgent care to get treatment for injuries resulting from a fall.
Oh, I had no idea it happened that often. So give us some ideas about what we can do in our home to help prevent falls.
Well, it's important because 6 out of 10 falls occur in the home. So as we age, our mobility changes. You mentioned that earlier. And it's important to make changes to our home environment along the way as well. AARP has a great booklet and workshop, online workshop called Home Fit, where we take you on a tour, room by room of your home, and we identify things that you can do to make your home more safe and more comfortable as you age and your mobility changes. Some projects are large and might require a contractor, like putting in a ramp or remodeling your bathroom and taking out your tub, putting in a zero threshold entry into your shower. But other things are quite simple, like putting door levers instead of door knobs, and making sure your lighting is good, adding night lights to hallways, grab bars, toilet commodes. There are many things that are simple and fairly inexpensive that you can do to your home.
So you talked about inexpensive things. I mean, one thought I had is a shower chair, so a chair in your shower that you can use. But some of the items you mentioned are quite costly. So is there financial assistance available?
Well, one good strategy is to begin early and start making some of these changes before you need them. Americans are aging quickly, and our societies is aging. And by 2030, we will have more adults over 65 than children in America for the first time ever. So these attributes in our homes are going to be important for everyone. It's good to take a look at grab bars, railings, commode risers, all of these things. And if you can do it incrementally and step by step, it's easier to afford it over time.
So we've only got a couple of seconds left, but durable medical equipment is also appropriate, and so we'll talk about that when we join up in our next segment. So thank you, Nancy, for the great information you're providing, and we're looking forward to hearing even more. Right now, we're going to take a break, so everyone stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Nancy Anderson is still with us from AARP Montana. And now, Nancy, we're going to be talking about what happens when I fall. What am I going to do?
Well, boy, I sure hope that doesn't happen. But like you've mentioned before, you've taken a fall, I've taken a fall. It's best to just take a few minutes and get your bearings, kind of assess what the damage may be before you really try to jump up. If you can easily get up, do so, but really go slow. If you've got someone in the house, call for help, or if you have access to be able to call for 911, that'll be good too. If you're alone, get into a comfortable position and just wait for help. But if you spend a lot of time alone, it might be good to check into a medic alert system. And this is typically a system with an alert button that you wear around your neck or on your wrist so that it's always with you. And if you do take a fall, you can push that alert button and it'll let someone know that you need help.
Oh, excellent information. All right, Nancy, we're going to switch gears a bit. Let's talk about fires and fire prevention. So I've heard that deaths from house fires are highest among people 65 and older. So what about a safety plan to reduce injuries and deaths?
Well, the best plan is to prevent fire. So make sure that you're careful in the kitchen. Don't burn candles. As tempting as that might be, I love the smell, but boy, it's sure easy to forget them. If you use a space heater, keep it in a clear area and make sure it's not going to tip over. And keep fire extinguishers close at hand, especially in the kitchen. But it's also good to have a getaway plan. think through right now when you're not worried about your house being on fire. Think through how you would get out. If you're in the bedroom and a fire happens in the kitchen, which exit would you use? How would you get out quickly and safe live out of your home, no matter where you're located?
What about appliance fires, Nancy? I mean, we hear about appliance fires. What can we do? How do we avoid them?
Well, especially with those smaller appliances, we get them and we use them for years and years. So it's important to make sure that the cords are in good shape, that they're not cut or frayed. It's important to go ahead and unplug those small appliances when they're not in use. I know it's so tempting these days to plug lots of items into one outlet. There are so many outlet extenders and surge protectors that you can really load an outlet up, but don't do it. Really try to position your appliances so they're spread around and you're only putting the appropriate load on each one of those. And also be careful with aluminum and metal in the microwave. Holy moly, that is one way to ensure that you're going to have a fire. And always keep a fire extinguisher loaded, charged, and close at hand in the kitchen.
So let's talk about the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission. So in doing some reading, there are products that actually cause injuries to persons, whether they're over 65 or not. Can you give some examples of products that actually injure us?
Well, you've got to be careful with, like the microwave, using inappropriate items in there. Make sure you're reading your appliance instructions and send in those warranty cards, because if they've got that information, if there's a recall, if something shows up to be dangerous in the future, you'll be notified about the recall. So it's important to really stay on top of all of that.
So we're going to switch gears again and talk about choking. So I think we've all experienced choking episodes. I know I certainly have. Talk to us about what we can do to prevent that. It's so frightening and certainly life-threatening.
Well, many people don't realize that our swallowing mechanism, our function, deteriorates as we age. So that's one reason why older people tend to choke more. So we've got to be aware of that. We've got to chew our food really well. We've got to cut smaller pieces, not talk with our mouths full. Aren't we going back to what our moms taught us long ago? But it's just really being aware of that, I think, that helps us to be mindful.
So I think back to the Heimlich maneuver. So if we're alone and we're really choking, do you have any advice for us?
Well, it's important. I mean, I remember as a kid, put your arms up, try to open that passageway in your throat, try to get the item out. If you can lean against an item, put your fist and try to lean against with your bread basket as if you were getting the Heimlich maneuver. It's dangerous when you're alone. So the best idea is to prevent it from happening.
So let's talk about poisoning. We've got about a minute left. So talk to us about potential risks for poisoning in and around our homes.
Yeah, people don't realize that household cleaners can be pretty toxic, and most especially if you mix them. If you've got one sink cleaner that has bleach and another that has ammonia, and you think you're going to do an extra good job using both of them, that can really create a toxic fume. So be careful about that. Be careful with outdoor garden sprays, that kind of thing. And be careful with your medications. Make sure you have a good system in place so that you know when you've taken your medicine and that you don't overdo on that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. So thinking about poisoning, just be careful we're not mixing poison together, like our household cleaners, for sure.
Yeah, and right away, I know I have done it, thinking, oh, that stain didn't quite come up, let me try with something else. And boy, you get a whiff of that, and always use them in a well-ventilated area.
Thank you so much, Nancy. We need to take a break right now, but after the break, we're going to continue to talk about staying safe in the home, and we're going to talk about home security. So please don't go away. Stay with us. Welcome back. We're now joined by Chief of Police Steve Hagan, who's going to talk to us about the importance of home security. First, thank you so much for all you do for our community.
Thank you. And could you please call me Steve? I prefer my given name rather than that formal title.
I would be happy to.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So unfortunately, it's really common for seniors to become targets of crime and a whole host of other bad things. Can you talk to us about measures in place that might protect our seniors?
The first thing to understand in a lot of what's going on in today's society is the easiest way to get to people's financial money, to their money, and actually into their home is through their computers. So scams have been a huge increase all across society, but a lot of the scammers are specifically targeting older Americans because of their level of trust. Older Americans tend to trust people more than newer generations, and they don't understand the computer as much as the younger generation does. So they are very much a target of online scammers, especially. So that's something that everyone needs to be aware of, especially seniors.
So perhaps soliciting family to help some of the seniors, kids or grandkids with some computer protections would be a good idea.
Absolutely. And I'm a person that does the minimum amount I have to on a computer because, quite frankly, I don't understand it near as well. And I'll ask others that are much younger. The younger generation really understands computers much more than I'll consider myself an older American. So older Americans do. And I ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help from people you trust. And make sure it's from people you trust. Don't ask for help from people online you don't know, because not all of them are looking out for your best interest.
That's a really good point. And the other thing I've noticed is the phone scams. And you read about these scams where they'll call and ask for a credit card because you're going to go to jail and your car is going to be possessed, right?
Right.
Repossessed.
Right. And the biggest thing is understand banks will never call you and ask for your information. If anyone reaches out to you via a phone call, computers, or a knock on your door, they're not generally looking out for your best interest. If someone calls you on the phone and what they're telling you doesn't seem right, it isn't right. And the police will never call you and say, we're going to come arrest you if you don't pay your fines. They'll never say if you failed to show up for jury duty. Police won't do that. Trusted public officials won't do that. So what you really need to do is pay attention to what people are telling you. If they're telling you to get gift cards or send money electronically or anything like that, don't do it. Call the police and say, hey, this is what I'm being asked. Should I do this? And we've done this so many times. There's so many different scams, and they continually change the scams. So don't trust people if they're calling you and asking for anything. So that's the best rule of thumb.
It's a really interesting point because I should have thought of this, but I didn't think about calling the police department to report, a scam phone call. So do you get many calls from folks about scams in the greater Helena community?
We do. We get calls daily from folks in our community that are either concerned about a scam or actually have been scammed. And so many of these scams are originating outside of our area. They're coming from Canada, Mexico, different parts of the United States, all around the world. That's the change with the internet. Everything is coming from around the world. And we have people getting scammed every day, but we also have a lot of folks that are calling us, is this a scam? Yes, it's a scam. Don't just hang up on people. And one of the advantages now to cell phones and most landlines are, if you have a display, it shows you the number. If you don't know the number, don't answer it. And if someone says, hey, this is Jimmy, your nephew, and I'm in jail and I need money, say, okay, Jimmy, I'll call you back on your number, not on this number. And that that will usually turn the scammers off. But I don't answer a number I don't recognize. If it's someone that I didn't recognize the number, but I know, they'll leave a message and I can call them back.
Yeah, I'm the same. Absolutely. In our last segment, we touched on medical alert systems. Can you describe the difference between those systems, medical alert and home security?
Yes, I can. The biggest difference is if you have a medical alert bracelet or a medallion that hangs around your neck and you push that button, you're going to get a response from the ambulance and the fire department. If you have a home security system and you either have a panic button or you have an alarm that goes off because your door or window got opened or window got broken, the police will be the ones that respond to that. So there's a huge difference between the two. They function similarly, but they're very different.
Why should seniors want home security in their homes?
I think it's an individual choice. I think you really should consider whether or not it's right for you. And again, this is where you reach out to trusted family and friends and say, this is what I'm thinking about doing. Should it be something for me? And one of the things you have to consider is how often are you at home? If you're gone a lot, if you're a snowbird or something like that, you're really going to want to consider, okay, what's going to protect my house while I'm gone? If you're home a lot, the security system may not be for you. So you kind of have to weigh the options.
Are there different types of home security systems? I'm assuming so.
Yes, there's so many different types of security systems, and the biggest types are there's wired-in systems where there's actual telephone lines running in, and there's wireless ones, there's wired-in ones, there's monitored ones, which means there's a company that actually monitors it, and then there's unmonitored ones, which are where you buy the product from the company, and you're basically your own monitoring company. You watch it on your phone, you can watch it on a computer, those kind of things. So those are the main different types.
And they now have them where you've got video camera capability outside your home so you can track who's coming to your door, et cetera, right?
The wireless ones now have where there's video cameras outside the house. They have video cameras inside the house. You can monitor your camera if you're in Florida, say you're snowbirding in Florida, you can monitor your inside camera, your outside camera from anywhere in the world just to see what's going on in your house. For me, it's a little creepy to have a camera in my house, but that's some people do like to be able to, or if they're away for the day, they want to see what their cat or dog are doing. And there's lots of people I know that do that as well.
Well, we are out of time, but I can't thank you enough, Steve, for all the information you've shared. And again, thank you for all you do for our community. We appreciate it. So, in the meantime, stay fit, stay well, stay healthy for life with Healthy Living for Life. Take care.
Healthy Living for Life is brought to you by Mountain Pacific Quality Health in partnership with AARP Montana. We'd love to hear from you. If you have suggestions for future programs, visit our website at mpqhf.org or call us at 406-443-4020. You can also catch us on YouTube by visiting our website and clicking on the Healthy Living for Life logo. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions.